Sometimes life tests us when we least expect it. It breaks us down, makes us fall, and whispers that it's over. But what if that one last attempt, the one we almost didn't take, could change everything? This is the story of a young man named Arav, who was on the edge of giving up until one final decision turned his entire life around. Stay till the end, because this story will remind you that sometimes the miracle you're waiting for is hidden inside your last try. Arav was a quiet boy from a small town. His father was a bus driver, his mother worked in a local store, and life was always about survival, not dreams. From childhood, Arav was fascinated by machines. He loved repairing old radios, fixing fans, and imagining how things worked. But dreams cost money, and Arav's family barely had enough for food. Still, he studied hard, believing education would change his fate. Every night, under a dim bulb, he'd whisper to himself, "One day, I'll make something of my life." But the world doesn't always reward effort. Sometimes it throws you into storms to see if you can swim. After finishing school, Arav wanted to study engineering. He took the entrance exams with high hopes, but when the results came, he failed. Not once, but twice. His friends moved on with their college lives, while Arav stayed home, watching his dreams fade like dust on an old window. His father began to lose patience. "Arav, dreams don't feed a family," he said one evening. "It's time you find a job." Those words cut deep. Arav felt like a disappointment to his parents, to himself, to everything he had believed in. He tried working at a mechanic's shop, but his heart wasn't there. Every time he saw a college student walk by, a silent ache burned inside him. One day, while returning from work, Arav saw a little boy crying beside a broken bicycle. Without thinking, he knelt down and started fixing it. The chain was jammed, the wheel bent, but within minutes, the bike was working again. The boy's smile that day hit Arav differently. It reminded him of why he loved machines in the first place. That night, he decided he would try again. He filled the exam form for the third time, knowing this was his last shot. He studied late nights, skipped meals, and stayed awake while others slept. But fate wasn't kind yet. 2 weeks before the exam, his father met with an accident and was hospitalized. Arav dropped everything to take care of him. The exam day came and went. Arav missed it. His last chance, gone. Days turned into weeks. Arav started blaming himself. He believed he wasn't meant to succeed. "Maybe I'm just unlucky," he told his mother one night. She smiled softly and said, "No, Arav, maybe your time just hasn't come yet." But deep inside, Arav had given up. He stopped reading, stopped dreaming. He began working full-time at a small garage. Life became routine: fix, eat, sleep, repeat. Yet every time he touched a machine, something inside him whispered, "You were meant for more." He tried ignoring that voice, but it never went away. Because when your heart knows its purpose, silence becomes painful. One evening, an old man brought his broken scooter to Arav's garage. The man looked wealthy but humble. Arav repaired the scooter with such skill and focus that the man was impressed. He asked, "Where did you learn this?" Arav smiled weakly. "Just by trying, sir." The man introduced himself as Mr. Rahman, a retired engineering professor from the city. He watched Arav closely and said, "You have a gift. Why waste it here?" Arav told him everything: the failures, the missed exam, the hopelessness. The old man listened quietly, then said something that changed Arav's life forever. Life doesn't test your ability, it tests your willingness to try one more time. Those words echoed in Arav's heart like a spark in darkness. For the first time in months, he felt alive again. Arav returned home that night and stared at the exam books collecting dust. His father was still recovering, his mother asleep. He sat quietly and whispered, "One last attempt, just one." He enrolled again for the exam, this time not for success, but for peace. He wanted to face his dream one last time, without fear, without pressure. Every morning before work he studied. Every night after work he revised. His body was tired, but his soul was awake. He faced criticism, mockery, and doubt from everyone around him, but he didn't argue anymore. He just smiled and worked harder. Because sometimes silence is the loudest form of determination. The exam day finally arrived. Arav sat in the hall, his hands trembling. He looked around at hundreds of faces, young, confident, hopeful. He felt small, but he reminded himself, "I'm not here to compete. I'm here to complete my journey." He wrote the paper with calm focus. Every answer felt like a piece of his soul finding its place. When he walked out, he didn't feel fear or doubt, just peace. Weeks passed, and the result day came. Arav didn't even check the website. He was afraid of disappointment again. But that evening, his mother ran to him, tears in her eyes, holding her phone. "Arav, you did it," she cried. He had not only passed, he ranked among the top scorers in his district. The news spread through his small town like wildfire. The same people who once doubted him now praised his determination. His father, still recovering, smiled proudly with tears in his eyes. "You did it, son. You didn't just pass an exam. You passed life's biggest test, never giving up." Arav got admitted to a government engineering college, where he studied hard and later built an innovative motor design that caught national attention. Years later, he became a successful mechanical engineer, leading a team that designed affordable electric vehicles for rural areas. But he never forgot the garage, the failures, and the pain, because that pain had shaped him into who he became. Sometimes life doesn't give us what we want, because it's preparing us for something greater. Arav's story reminds us that the road to success isn't straight. It's full of failures, delays, and heartbreaks. But every failure is just a step, not a stop. So if you're tired, broken, or losing faith, remember Arav. Remember the power of one last attempt, because maybe your next try could be the one that changes your life forever.